working for you.
And this is Saturday, August the 17th. The heartiest of happy birthday wishes to both Brian Hendrian and Bo Little. And rejoice, my sports-loving friends. Overtime has returned. We are excited to spend the next 10 months with you in this space with 30 minutes devoted every Saturday entirely to local sports coverage. Admittedly, the fall sports season is not quite ramped up to warp speed quite yet, but this weekend has always served as a great window for us to accelerate our preparation for the upcoming high school football season. Extended time tonight means extended coverage of a pair of area teams with considerable playoff prospects ahead. Our Raiders ×2 coverage tonight, if you will, and if you're looking for a common thread there. And we start tonight, as we traditionally do, on this first day of contact workouts at 10th and Jackson with Jack Cornell, doing a little scrimmage-based tinkering tonight.
I think these guys know how to win. These guys know what it takes to get to those big games and, how to execute. They've had their stumbles before, but, as anything, these guys really pick themselves up and move forward.
I'm really hoping it just, snowballs on into this year because we've made a huge upset, like you said, and it felt really good.
I think that what these guys have done through the whole course of this offseason, whether it was joint practices with other teams, being in the weight room in the mornings, coming out here in the afternoons, these guys really just have embraced that part of it and are really working towards something.
It may be true that they backed into the playoffs last fall, but Q&D's takedown of top-seeded Arthur speaks to this Raider group's propensity for seizing an opportunity. An important collective trait here, given that A, the Raiders can help their own playoff calculus right from the jump with 4 straight home games to open the season.
It's critical. Obviously to get teams like Quincy High, like Richmond Burton to come in here instead of having to go to their place, that's got to be a big deal for us. But then to start conference play at home, and really at least be, somewhat in our friendly confines as we start, I think is going to be a good thing for us. It has to be. We know that every time we go on the road, it's going to be a challenge. I think that fortunately this year we don't have to go quite as far on the road, but, every team that we play is going to be bigger than us. They're going to have a lot of dudes, and we know that we got to come with our best football.
And B, an invitation to join the Powerhouse Central State 8 Conference is right on brand with Jack Cornell's iron sharpens iron mentality.
I feel blessed when I got into coaching to become friends with guys like Mark Grounds, like Derek Leonard and Ken Leonard as well, and, just guys that are salt-of-the-earth type human beings, but obviously great football people as well. And just to get to know them over the years and build that relationship, which then ultimately culminates into this invitation. I tell you, getting to know them, but now getting to know the other coaches in the league as well that I hadn't known yet. These are great people, and it really speaks for itself why these teams are as successful as they are. And to now be part of that as our program is, I just couldn't be more excited.
Obviously, we're going to make the most out of every opportunity that we get this season. Being in the new conference is going to be a good opportunity for us to further our reach and further our competition that we're playing.
As Raider football enters a new era, it does so with a potentially transformational defense at the ready. One that is more than just its pair of Division I pillars.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, you talk about Wyatt Mueller going to Illinois State, Talon Scott, who's getting some Ivy League looks and is definitely going somewhere. But, it's the other 9 guys on that side that really, bring it all together. And it's been fun to watch all these guys flying to the football, playing with emotion, really just competing the right way, and looking forward to getting them in a live situation and see what they can do. But really just have had a really good summer, really good training camp so far, and watching those older guys bring the younger guys along.
I think it's going to be pretty good because obviously we have a ton of starters coming back. We had a lot of young guys last year, so everyone coming back. Talon and Wyatt, obviously big, strong suits, D1 guys. Talon's going to lead the defense, obviously, calling everything, and he has a great mind, great instincts and everything. Wyatt back there controlling the DBs and controlling the air. He won't let anything deep or anything. And our line looks pretty good. D-line's getting through there and disrupting the pass and run game a lot.
On the other side of the football, the Raiders profit by having identity pieces already established. At running back with Ivan Hoon, in the passing game with Hunter Schuckman at quarterback.
He's obviously a very accurate quarterback. He never misses. Over the middle, he's a really good on the outside, and he's just overall, he keeps himself together. He's very calm, very collected, and really keeps our whole team together, our whole offense together.
Just having those live bullets come at me last year, it gives me a lot of experience coming into this year, so I know what to do and what not to do. I have a lot more experience, so I can read the defenses, and I know what's coming at me, and I'm able to just see more, and I have more knowledge going into this year that it will help me out
And an assortment of mix and match wide receivers at the ready, including Gavin Dolman.
I mean, we have a bunch of playmakers all over the field. Obviously, you have Gavin. He's our big guy, deep threat. He can go take the top off of the defense. And then me and Joseph are your better, like more technical guys, route runners that can get open when Hunter needs a safety guy and somebody that's always open for you.
It's been a ton. They're stepping into their roles perfectly fine. They're doing good. Joey's quick and shifty. He can get out there. Gavin, obviously, good red zone threat. He can get up there and do everything. Jack, take one over the middle, and good route runner at everything. They're all pretty good.
And as well with an offensive line poised to protect it all.
Well, the line has been great. I mean, 4 new guys, it's been phenomenal. Really good communication. It's fantastic knowing that we can throw the ball comfortably, run the ball comfortably, do anything we want, really.
Yeah, I just think we got to eliminate silly mistakes, pre-snap penalties, holding on to the football, and continuing to get first downs and punching it into the end zone when we get in the red zone is key for us. I think that, as you said, we have somewhat of an identity. We're still trying to figure some things out right now at this part of the year, but we've got a good group of guys that just love working together, love coming out here and competing and playing hard and trying to find ways to get better. Trying to put some unique wrinkles on some things that we've done in the past, but still, the same kind of consistency. And we feel like if we can put it together that, we've got some pretty good pieces.
And obviously an incredibly difficult start for the Raiders with Quincy High School on tap at home 2 weeks from yesterday. So high school football season is almost here. And we are just getting warmed up here on the big overtime show. Up next, we cross the river and take a deep dive on the program I think has arguably the best chance, if not Missouri, maybe the entire Tri-States, to be the last one standing in our area come November. That story with North Shelby is next.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
Set, hit. We've got a lot of experience on our team coming into this year, and so we don't really have any new spots to fill in, so I'm very confident in what we can accomplish this year.
Yeah, every coach wants to bust that door down. Every year there's 5-6 teams that really have a good shot to do it. You have to stay healthy. You have to have the ball bounce your way. You have to be lucky. It's nice to be in that position. Yeah, as a coach, I want it. But you know what? It's not the end of the world if we don't get that ultimate prize. There's a lot bigger lessons we're trying to teach here. The process will help these guys transition into life. It is fun knowing that we're going to have a shot to do some things.
Elite ingredients do not a gourmet meal make, but you also really can't cook up something special in this world without them. On paper, North Shelby might boast the best stocked pigskin pantry in all of Missouri 8-man football. The caviar course of which is quarterback play. You are no one in this brand of football without a difference maker at that position. Missouri 8manfootball.com ranks Jade Daniel as the 4th best positional practitioner in the classification, after he generated over 2,700 yards on offense last season and 44 total touchdowns.
Definitely, you've not seen everything that he has in the bag. You've seen glimpses of it, the 240-plus rushing yards there in the district championship game. He's a special kid, and it's one of those things, you watch him play, you watch him run, he doesn't look that elusive, he doesn't look that fast, but then all of a sudden you look at the stat book, in basketball, and track, and in football, and the kid's had an exceptional night.
An injury last season to expected future back Amos Fredrickson not only hastened Daniel's personal growth, it allowed a host of underclassmen at the skill positions to emerge early around the Raider quarterback.
Cole Browning and Gannon Bowen did a great job. Got thrust into a varsity role a lot sooner than either one of them expected. There were definitely growing pains with that, but that growing pains also got them mentally prepared to go into an off season, knowing what the grind really had to be. I mean, they worked hard, but now that they knew what every varsity hit and a full varsity game felt like, I think it really set the tone for them in the off season. They made a lot of great gains.
I feel really good about myself, just knowing that I have all the key elements just all around me to help build our future and just kind of carry us throughout the season.
The truth of the matter, though, is that everyone in 8-man football generally can and does find good skills guys. Line play, however, is North Shelby's personal calling card. On offense, even with new pieces in play,
We have some physicality still on our line. Got a couple new people, but they're fitting in really well. They're learning their assignments, and they're really strong. They know how to block, and I think they'll do just great.
It makes it so much easier. I have the trust that they'll protect me and our running backs so we can gain the extra yards and go down the field through a breeze.
We have a strong team as well as a fast team, so we can put together an offense that runs like a heavy team like Southwest as well as a fast team like Bramer.
We do like to run the football, and that's the thing that we set everything and predicate on, is we're going to run that football. But at the same time, we have kids that can both catch the ball very, very well in all 4 spots, and the pressure of defending the play action is very, very difficult. And so having speed to take the top off, makes it really tough combination for people to defend.
Just helps out our job a little easier. If we get our blocks great, they can do their job and we're good.
But especially on defense, with a 3-man group up front that may be the class of the classification. The Raiders also return the state's Freshman of the Year to that unit in Gannon Bowen. But David Stuckey isn't even ready to concede that he is the best sophomore on his own team, given the presence of emerging 10th grader Drake Prang.
Well, actually, he's moved into that defensive end spot, which has allowed us to move Orrin back into the nose guard. So we feel like we have Big Orrin is a heck of a mismatch inside at that nose guard. He's going to be a massive handful for anybody that's trying to snap the ball and then to handle that big kid. And then Schwanke, again, is one of the faster kids. As a defensive end, he hit 20 miles an hour over at Nemo Fitness. Drake, again, you look at his standing in the class of 2026 tight ends in the nation. He's the 4th longest broad jump. He's a heck of an athlete. You saw it in his discus. You see it in the basketball. He plays elite travel basketball. And he's added, has matured some and added some strength to go with that speed. And so we feel like he's going to be a heck of a defensive end for us.
Those playmakers make it more possible for people that may be less of a playmaker to make plays as well by being in their position.
We had to get faster. It was not, there's no secret last year that, across the full 8, we were not a fast team. A commitment to speed development this offseason, through the weight room and conditioning program, both here and over at Bryce Johnson's, over at Nemo Fitness. I've got to give a shout out there what Bryce has done with our athletes as well. But it's one of those things that we now have foot speed across all 8 positions on defense.
In short, this is a dynamite equation across the board, but also a guarantee of absolutely nothing come the opening of the season. But if you are looking for positive indicators, North Shelby's entrenched offseason work ethic has to make you feel positively about them maximizing their window.
I mean, see it in the weight room, and we just work harder than everybody else, I feel, and just how we are. We're just trying to get there, and every year we get close, but I think this year we can do it.
And again, I think North Shelby, when the new state rankings come out actually 2 weeks from now, I believe that's a team that's going to be in the top 4, top 5 in 8-man football. They are that well regarded, and as you can see right there, that very good. Not a lot of depth, but pretty decent depth actually for an 8-man team overall. So North Shelby certainly worth your attention. Now, I was busy barnstorming today, taking advantage of this first day of contact. So coming up tomorrow night, we're going to barnstorm with the vastly improved Brown County Hornets. I know they won just 3 games last season, but this is a team that looks like it's turned a significant corner. A lot of talent back. The return of Tice Fullerton is going to make a huge difference there. Look a lot more like the traditional Brown County teams on the line and in the backfield and defensively. So that story coming your way tomorrow night. And we also spent considerable time with a team that everybody talked about. They were the talk of the area last season, probably going to be so as well. Quincy High School today on the first day of contact. We actually have a 2-part preview of the Blue Devils offensive and defensive because there are so many narratives there. One story isn't going to be enough to cover all things for Rick Little's team. So I believe those will drop Monday at 6 and 10 for those keeping track. And if we haven't made a trip yet to your area, we're going to try our best. Remember, the timelines are a little shorter with barnstorming this year, but I'm set to make a trip to Bowling Green on Monday. Got some college barnstorming with Illinois College, who's the #1 ranked team preseason in the Midwest Conference, coming back after their great year last year. That's coming up on Tuesday, and plenty more dating up to next week. We've got week 0 games in Illinois next week, which is going to be a new thing. They're scrimmage games that actually mean something and give you competition against somebody other than yourself, sort of the replacement for the soap scrimmage or the soda scrimmage or the blue gold or whatever you want to call them in your particular area. So we've got all that coming your way. Going to be a really fun week next weekend. We still have more overtime. Big day of high school golf for you straight ahead.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
At MCC, Quincy High School's Jackson Smith right here. He's got good golf bloodlines, draining the par saver on hole number 3. Same group with him in the threes, playing the number 3s today. AJ Charpentier, you know him from his route baseball work. Better golfer even than that. Round of 74 today. Good for medalist honors, including that par save. How about Ty Novosel trying to pick up where he left off at the D.A. Weibring Invitational the other day? Some good short game work from Ty. He seems to have that wrist under control after being injured last year, saving par here at number 4 for Ty. Colton Barr, really good golfer from Jacksonville. Jacksonville is loaded. Nice stuff for him as he had a 76 today. Elias Martin, the best putt of the day that I saw, back on 3. Jacksonville with a 315 team score. They win by 6 strokes over Q&D. Speaking of Q&D, Oliver Hendry in here, tied for second on the day with a 76. Nearly chipped that in for a birdie. How about Hunter St. Clair with a 78 on the day? But Jacksonville again was your team winner. Speaking of great golf teams, Illini West is off and roaring. They won the D.A. Weibring Invitational, picked up right where they left off today at Old Orchard, beating up on the field. Illini West with a 325 today. Nick Bruns finishes second overall. Bryson Grotz, you know what? This team didn't need any more talent. They found a couple of really good freshmen. We knew Nolan Murphy was coming. Bryson Grotz today, low freshman with a 6th place finish and a score of 81. Nolan Murphy with an 82 there as well, as the Chargers put 3 in the top 10, which got us thinking today. All right, outside of football, who are the fall sports teams that we think, kind of the same way we rank the football teams preseason, have the best chance to win a state title? Not the best talent, but the best chance relative to their classification schedule to get things done. And I, of course, took the cowards/smart man's way out, because always bet on Melissa Friesmeier. That's not a dumb move by anybody's part. And Holy Trinity still loaded from last year's second-place team, bringing back Presley Myers, who's an all-stater. Anna Benlogie is back, which helps as well. Tegan Snott is back. And last year's freshman sensation, now a sophomore, Adeline Cruzy. So Holy Trinity still loaded. And then things get fun, because I think we have a lot of really good fall teams in a lot of different venues who have a chance to make a run. I think Highland had a chance last year had they not run into the Megan Graver jinx against Bowling Green and gotten some hits together. Highland is still absolutely loaded despite a couple of key graduation losses. I think that's the best softball team in Northeast Missouri. We shall see if that bears out, but I think a lot of folks are picking them to win the Clarence Cannon Conference and do a lot beyond that. We talked about Illini West boys golf, often roaring. 2 meets so far this week, 2 wins for those guys. You can go a lot of ways in Illinois volleyball. I like Macomb best right now. You can make arguments for Southeastern, Q&D. I think there are a couple of other schools there that are kind of percolating as well. I'm going to bet on Macomb at this point as being the last team standing in West Central Illinois, but that remains to be seen. One of the really fun stories of this season, the Q&D girls golf squad, 2 really critical freshmen joining Belle Boudreau and Meredith Eversman. So that's a really great crew for Jason Knuffman's squad. Blew away the field by 97 strokes over second place earlier this week at the Titan Invitational. A couple of other programs I'll mention. We talked about Hannibal soccer a lot preseason. Obviously, Bodie Rollins is back. You've got Clayton Nyson back. I mean, that team is loaded. The problem with Hannibal soccer is really tough path through the postseason. Quincy Notre Dame, obviously always good at soccer, kind of has the same deal trying to get to a state championship. But again, there's a long way to go for that. Greg Reese, you heard him say it's going to be a process, but I really like the pieces Q&D soccer has in play. And who knows, somebody will probably jump up and surprise us pleasantly as well. And we'll have more overtime coming your way straight after this.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
All right, party people, the first overtime of the year is in the books. This was kind of the dress rehearsal. Next week, things get real, obviously, with a lot of golf. We've got the Quincy Invitational and the Gary Saunders Invitational in Macomb. Always fun events. We'll have some more barnstorming. We'll be wrapping up the first night of faux high school football as we do the dress rehearsal thing. And by the way, super excited for us, Ben Schmidt is going to join the fold for the first time for Sports Final next Friday and overtime here next Saturday. So good stuff for the newest member of the KHQA sports team. Give him a follow on social media and be sure to say hi and introduce yourself when you see him out in public. I'm all out of time, everybody. Super excited to be back with you here. This is my favorite day of the week. I know Fridays are great, but Saturdays, overtime's like the impossible fun puzzle, and it's really fun to put together for you folks. So thank you for your patronage. We love you all, and we'll see you right back here next Saturday and all the way until June for overtime.